Welcome back. This is a new lecture in your course Git and GitHub by Aryonics. My name is Ahmed, and in this section we are discussing how to deal with remote repositories. Now, in the last lecture we have seen how we can make changes to a repository that has been pulled from a remote repository to our local machine. Those changes can be then brought back or pushed back to the remote repository and then pulled back from another machine, from another developer perhaps, to review those changes and make further changes if necessary. Now, in the previous lecture, you have seen also that when we attempted to pull the changes, a message has been displayed requesting us, or a window has been displayed, a Vim window actually displayed, requesting us to add a message to this pull. And we said that this is because the pull command actually does two things. It retrieves all the files and all the changed files from the remote repository. Not only that, but also it merges the commits that have been made to the remote repository, merge them with the local branch. And of course, because it's going to merge them, because it's going to do a commit, it will probably need a descriptive message to describe what has happened, what urged you to make this change, what was the cause of merging the remote repository with the local one. So this is somewhat destructive. Some developers or some people who work with Git argue that this is a destructive action in the sense that directly pulling files from the remote repository to your local repository will overwrite the files that already exist on your local repository, and maybe you need to review first what changes are going to be made before you commit those changes and you merge those changes with the local repository. So if you need to do that, if you are very cautious and you need to have a look at each and every change that have been made to the repository before committing it, then maybe git pull is not your command. You're going to have to use git fetch before. You're going to have to use the git fetch command. So let's have a look at this scenario. Now, suppose that, let's have a look at our second machine again. Suppose that we are going to make another change. So here is the thank you. Let's add, for example, all right, let's add an about.html page. This is a brand new page. Let's add some HTML for this page. Okay, let's save it, and let's maybe put a hyperlink for this page here. Say ahref equals about.html. This is just gonna place a link. You're gonna see that actually in our browser to explain what this code actually does. Okay, about, and then close the anchor. If you wanna see what this looks like, let's have a look at our web browser. Okay, as you can see here, this is the second machine, 198, and notice here that we have this about link. If we clicked on it, you're going to be directed to about this website page, which is about.html. This is the page that we have just created. And notice that if we navigate it to the first machine, you will notice that this link is not there. So it's here, but not there. Notice that there are several changes that have been made to the index.html. Okay, so now we are on the second machine and we did a change. Let's now add the files that we have changed. We have index.html and we also have about.html. Let's add them. Let's then commit with a message added about page and link. Okay, since this is a new installation of Git, we need to configure our global username and password. Let's do that quickly. Now let's commit. Okay, and now we have committed our changes. Let's push those changes to our remote repository. Okay, now it has been pushed. Now in the second machine, we don't want to pull those changes. We don't want to merge them. We just want to view what has happened. So in this case, we can do git fetch like this. Okay, now as you can see here, it has grabbed the files from the remote repository. Let's have a look here at what exactly is happening. This is the name of the repository. It's grabbing from greeter at top of mid in GitHub, and these are the SHA-1 hashes for the changes that have been done. These are the changes that have been done to master. They are being brought from origin master, and as we said, origin is the name of the remote repository from which you are grabbing your files. This is just the default name. Now let's issue git pull to merge those changes to our local repository. Okay, now as you can see here, the changes have been committed. If we have a look at the browser, okay, this is the new one, the new change, and this was the old one. If we refresh, you will see that now both of the pages are reflecting the same content. Now the about page has been added. Okay, so both of them are the same, and they are also in sync with the remote repository. It's worth noting that you can also use the git merge, which will achieve the same effect. So again, git fetch will just bring you the files that have been changed from the remote repository. It will not yet merge those changes to the current branch. We're going to talk about branch in a moment. It will not merge those changes to your local repository. It will just grab the files. If you want to commit them, you will have to issue either git merge or git pull. Now in the coming lecture, we're going to have a look at branching. So see you next.